Ask Abby, providing answers, insights, and education designed to give you the tools and knowledge you need to thrive financially and live confidently in retirement.
Here with Abby Reed of the Reed Financial Group, the retirement family, on another edition of Go Ask Abby, your resource for financial investment and retirement planning information for proactive savers and investors. Abby, we've heard a lot about Social Security. It means a lot to a lot of Americans, but the Board of Trustees recently came out with kind of a reconfirmation of news that we've been hearing, but maybe a little bit more bleak, that the Social Security Trust Fund is expected to have a shortfall resulting in the inability to pay full benefits in the near future. It has a lot of retirees and pre-retirees understandably concerned. What do we need to know, think about, or be prepared for with Social Security?
With Social Security Trust Fund potentially running out or set to run out in about 2031, 2032. Seems like a long ways away, but it's not anymore. Time is, I don't know about for everybody else, but time just seems to go quicker and quicker for me recently. People are actually going to see this on their Social Security statement. It has it on there. There's a paragraph that says, if nothing changes, then the trust fund is going to be exhausted by a certain date in the near future. So it has a lot of people concerned, and rightfully so. It is a major source of retirement income for most people. Sometimes it's people's only retirement income source. For most people, it's maybe 50% of their retirement income. So it's a big asset. As far as over somebody's lifetime, it's most likely one of their biggest retirement assets. And so this being in jeopardy is a huge concern. And now more than ever, it's important to make sure that the claiming strategy you and your spouse use maximizes your benefits as much as possible. Because if there is some type of a reduction in the future, or if taxes are increased on Social Security in the future, if you can maximize that benefit, then you're going to come out ahead better. So now we're really focusing on maximizing those benefits. And a big part of that is just understanding how it works, because it is confusing. There's a lot of moving parts, especially with married couples or people that were previously married. Maybe one of them even has a government pension that was covered with Social Security. Maybe one wasn't covered with Social Security. There's so many moving parts. And it's one of those things that if somebody makes a decision with incomplete or even inaccurate information, it can cost them thousands and thousands of dollars in income over their lifetime. So we really want to get that right.
So with this news and with Social Security, like so many other things in life, Abby, timing matters.
Yes, absolutely. So even though we're able to claim Social Security for the first time at 62, it doesn't mean that that's the way to go. And what we've seen more so now than ever is people are kind of panic claiming. So they turn 62, they go ahead and take their Social Security benefit, even if they're still working. Maybe they don't even need the income, but their logic is, well, if they change it in the future, if I'm already receiving benefits, maybe they won't do it to me too. So they kind of claim out of fear. And that's really a misconception. That's not most likely going to be how it works. And what you're doing is permanently reducing your benefit, potentially even your spouse's benefit, if they're going to file on your record. The longer you wait to take Social Security, the higher your benefit's going to be. So 62 is the lowest your benefit's going to be. Each person has what's called a full retirement age, anywhere from 66 to 67 typically. That's going to be 100% of your benefit. If you wait until 70, which is as long as you can wait, you get something called delayed retirement credits, which means your monthly benefit is going to increase. You're actually going to get more than 100% of your benefit, which is huge for spouses. So a lot of times what we'll recommend to people when we do an income plan is waiting on the higher benefit until 70, if possible, because that's the benefit that's going to remain for the survivor. And so that's the one that's going to really make the biggest difference over the lifetime of those spouses. So that's an idea that we run in the income plan, see if that's the best way to do things, and a way to maximize the benefit. You can go ahead and maybe start the lower benefit and go ahead and start taking that at full retirement age, and then wait until 70. So you kind of get the best of both worlds in that scenario.
I'm glad you mentioned it, because we often think about and talk about Social Security in terms of my benefits. But the reality is that these benefits don't just impact and affect us. There are spousal considerations. There are survivorship implications that may not have the ultimate impact and consequence of this decisions we make at 62 or full retirement age until well into our 80s or beyond our own lifetime even.
Yeah, absolutely. So if it's going to be different for everybody, as is typical with financial stuff, but if you are maybe divorced and you haven't remarried, there's a chance that you could even use your ex-spouse's work record if they maybe had a higher income than you, if their benefits higher. There's certain stipulations that you have to meet in order to be able to claim on that work record. If you are divorced and remarried, the rules are a little bit different. And then also we have to take into account if you're getting a pension, maybe a government pension, that could actually reduce your Social Security benefit depending on how it works. So there are a lot of moving parts. And then it's even, more so when there are spouses that we're working with an income plan, because their decisions affect the other spouse. And so we take a look at it holistically. What's the best way to maximize these benefits for both of you over both of your life expectancies? And that's talking about survivorship income. So one of the benefits will essentially drop off when one of the spouses passes away. So how can we plan for that? Do we need additional sources of income that can kick on at that point in time? There's a lot of things to think about. And that's why it's really important to have an income plan, know how your benefits work, and then rely on a professional that knows all the intricacies, because it's impossible to know all of these different things just on your own. It's just too much information and also too many changes. They're kind of changing it more often than they have in the past. And so that's it's important to partner with a professional that can guide you in these decisions.
Abby, we can track our numbers. We can pull our statements at ssa.gov, which probably should be done on a regular basis, certainly as we are nearing making a decision. We can even run some rough calculators online with Social Security. Why does that alone not constitute a optimized income planning when it comes to Social Security?
That's a great question. So there's some do-it-yourself tools online, more so now really than ever. And a lot of them are really good to get you started. But if you input accidentally, just because you maybe typed in the wrong thing or didn't have some information that you needed to have in order to fill it out correctly, you're going to get an output that's wrong. That's completely wrong. And we've seen that. Unfortunately, we've worked with people that have tried to do that on their own. And, very, very smart people that thought they were choosing the right claiming strategy, maybe even Social Security Administration telling them this is what you should do. And then several months later, finding out there was some missing information and they made the wrong decision. Sometimes it can be undone. Sometimes it's a permanent decision. So really, it's just making sure that you have an extra set of eyes on that. Somebody that has been trained to know the ins and outs of pensions and taxes and Social Security, because you don't want to make, a typo or make a plan based on missing information that you're going to have to pay for in the future. So it's just really a second set of eyes and a professional that knows what to look for and mistakes to avoid, because we've done it before. We've done it many, many times and helped people through it. And it's just having a partner to double check things with you.
And the biggest piece of missing information with those online tools and calculators, Abby, is often that they are not taking into account the rest of your financial picture and situation. They are looking at Social Security alone in a vacuum. And that's also the reason why the folks down at the Social Security Administration office don't necessarily give proactive guidance on recommending certain dates or timing strategies, because they don't know the rest of your financial situation either.
Exactly. So if you, for example, if you go on and maybe run a estimate or a calculator illustration, when is the best time to take my Social Security? Most likely, it's depending on the life expectancy you put in. Most likely, it's going to say wait until 70. And if it's a couple, it's going to say both of you wait until 70. Because if both of you live into, your 90s, 95, that's the best. That's going to maximize your benefit. That's the highest benefit. However, if you don't have somebody that's looking at the rest of the story, you might have to take so much from your portfolio until you both turn 70 that it actually is going to leave you worse off, both waiting until 70. So like you said, if there's missing information in these calculators, if they're not taking the entire situation into account, then you're going to get recommendations really in isolation. And what needs to happen in retirement is all of those puzzle pieces need to be brought together, because it's a domino effect. Really, everything affects the other things in your plan. And those calculators and things like that can get us started. But we need to take the whole situation into account. And then also taxes. So the calculators really aren't going to help you with that. They're going to give you an estimate based on your work record, or you can look at your statement. And then we need to take into account if you're going to continue to work, is there some type of a penalty with Social Security? If you maybe start taking income from a certain source, how's that going to affect your taxes on Social Security? There's a lot more to that than just figuring out what you can get at each age. And that's where the planning part comes in.
Well, Social Security, certainly an important piece, but typically only part of the plan. You need to incorporate it into that larger retirement income plan that we have talked about here with Abby Reed, member of the retirement family there at Reed Financial Group, and your planning resource, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to take the time to examine the options and help to optimize your Social Security, as well as incorporate it into the rest of your larger financial investment and retirement income plan, pick up the phone and give Reed Financial Group a call, 678-442-0255, 678-442-0255. You can also visit online and be in touch at goaskabby.com, goaskabby.com. Part of the retirement family there at Reed Financial Group. Abby, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure as well, Peter. Thank you.
Here to answer your financial questions, visit the website goaskabby.com for show resources and to submit your questions and get answers, or to schedule your complimentary financial investment and retirement planning strategy session. You can also reach out to Abby directly at 678-442-0255. That's 678-442-0255, or at goaskabby.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, BCM, a registered investment advisor. BCM and Reed Financial Group are independent of each other. Insurance products and services are not offered through BCM, but are offered and sold through individually licensed and appointed agents. Third-party ratings and recognitions are no guarantee of future investment success and do not ensure that a client or prospective client will experience a higher level of performance or results. These ratings should not be construed as an endorsement of the advisor by any client, nor are they representative of any one client's evaluation.